What's up, Flow Traders? So my name is Kirby. I'm one of the traders and coaches over at Flowtrade, and I'm going to do a quick, not really pre-market, but pre-day prep for ES for the week here, and kind of look at what we can expect to see from the S&P 500 using the Flowtrade system. So really quick, I just want to give a quick rundown of the system for those of you who are new. So we use custom ATR channels. So here you see these orange bands and the orange line. The midline is essentially a moving average, and then we have ATR levels here and here, and a top ATR level band and a bottom ATR level band. We use this in conjunction with MACD, Fibonacci, and the flow index primarily. We do have a lot of other proprietary tools over at Flowtrade, but we're going to kind of just take a look at this for now. So just a real quick example of how the flow channels work. So these are the monthly flow channels, and we're on 4-hour candles here, and we can see that we just kind of cycle between it, right? We go from bottom to mid to top to mid, and if we get above this line here, it shows there's strength on that time frame. So here we're inside this cloud here, we're above this band. So that means we're pretty bullish on the monthly time frame right now. So on big picture on the monthly, we have two big options, right? We can come here and test as resistance, and we can come here and test as support. If we break above this level here, that means the monthly is in full bullishness. If we crack this level here, then we can expect long term that we would come back to the mid here. So just looking at this, we are, pretty bullish on the monthly still, but the monthly is a slower time frame, and we have support sitting right around 4,700 and resistance sitting right around 4,866. Now I'm going to start moving down time frames. So these are the weekly flow channels, and we're just going to keep looking at the support and resistance here. So here we have a support level at 47.65 and another support level, and this is the weekly top here at 4,700. So we can see this 4,700 level here on both the weeklies and the monthlies is going to be very important. If we test this and hold, then the monthly and weekly cycles are in full drive bull mode. If they crack, then same thing, right? We'll be going down to the weekly mid and then pushing to the monthly target eventually as well. So we have support here and we have support here. So now that we kind of just took a look at the big picture, we just like to make sure none of these big picture levels are in the way. We also want to make sure that we're not trading against the trend. But when we're looking at intraday, we need to scale down the time frames a little bit. So we have our 4-hour flow channels in blue and our daily flow channels in white. So this table up here tells us the MACD cycles as well. So we can see our daily MACD cycle is still strong, it's still green, and we're well above the daily top here. So the daily cycle is still in full bullishness. However, our 4-hour cycle, our MACD is crossed down, so we're in a nice 4-hour down cycle, and we're starting to break back in the bands here. So this level that we're sitting at right now is going to be a very important pivot point, this 47.77. You can see these ATR levels are dynamic, so they are going to keep changing every 4-hour candle. So it'll probably be more like up here-ish when we open tomorrow. But this is going to be a very important level for determining where ES goes. If we can lose this level, if we can stay inside these 4-hour channels, then we'll go to the 4-hour mid, see if that holds, to the 4-hour bottom, see if that holds. So we're starting this 4-hour down cycle, but we still have very a pretty bullish daily cycle, right? So how do we trade this? Well, we use lower time frames to kind of guide us through the day. So we're using these big time frames to guide us kind of long term and let us know the general direction. If this level holds, I'm thinking more bullish. If this level fails, I'm thinking more bearish. And then we use our 15s. These are the 15-minute flow channels, and we'll use these to guide us. So we have primary cycles and secondary cycles. So the 4 hour and daily are what we call primary cycles. And there's a very good rule of thumb. If these are both in the same direction, then we're only going to take trades in that direction. So if both of these were red, we'd only trade short. If both of them are green, we're only going to trade long. When they're in opposite directions, we get this effect. We like to call this a ping pong effect, where we have a hard time breaking out of them and sustaining, and we're always snapping back in and kind of ping ponging between them. And that's kind of what I expect to happen tomorrow, provided that we lose that 4 hour level. If we get back above this 4 hour top here and we hold it and the 4 hour can turn into like a full bullish cycle, then we would be looking for longs. But as of now, I'm assuming this kind of action. So very simple, kind of how we trade this intraday. We're looking to follow, the smaller time frame cycles. So we're following the 15-minute MACD and we're trading these flow channels as entries, just kind of bouncing between them. So looking at Friday, how we did it, we had this pre-market move here. So, we can draw Fibonacci levels. Let's say you don't get this first move here. You can draw Fibonacci's if it would let me draw it. Let's try it again. You can draw Fibonacci's and you can get your entries this way. So here's our opening move. A lot of people don't trade the open. A lot of people do. Let's say you don't. Well, you can see we held this Fibonacci level, this Fib 50 pretty much all day, right? So you can get in. As long as it holds, you can ride it down to the 127. And we didn't violate our rules, right? We stayed inside the channels, kind of like we expected. However, with the 4 hour cycle turning down, we're leaning more bearish. Now, that seems kind of complicated, but if you come hang out in our Discord, you'll see that it's really not that hard to get the hang of. But these are the kind of trades we're going to be looking for tomorrow, right? We're going to look at what the opening move does, to establish its opening range, draw some Fibonacci levels because those are going to guide us. We're going to follow our cycles and trade with it. So on Friday, that trade would have been, somewhere we would have got short somewhere in this area, and we take it off at the 127, which is a fairly solid trade, right? Let's say you got in around 47.75 and you take it off around 47.60. It's like a 15-point trade, right? Even if you missed part of it, that's still a 10-point trade or something like that, which is still really, really good. And then we can see after the Fibonacci target hit, we reversed back up to the top of the 15. So that's the action I will be expecting as long as we stay inside these 4 hour channels. Like I said, if we break above the 4 hour channels, the plan would change and we'd be pretty much looking to long. And since our cycles would be in alignment at that point, we would be able to push out and, try to get more aggressive long trades. So yeah, that's kind of the basics on how we prep and use the Flowtrade system. I will drop a link to the Discord in the description, so please come and hang out. And my name's Flowbro in Discord. If you have any questions, please feel free to ping me, and have a good day.